On May the 25th, 2009, Cyclone Isla struck the southwestern coast of Bangladesh. The storm destroyed everything in its path. Embankments gave way and water surged over the land. Villages, roads, livestock, rice fields, nothing withstood Isla. Nearly 4 million people were affected by the disaster. When the winds died down and the water receded, villagers were left to mourn 190 deaths. For a long time, the mangrove forest was Bangladesh's best defense against frequent cyclones. But this time, it wasn't able to halt the disaster. The forest threw in the sponge. Climate change experts estimate that over 1 billion people will be affected by rising sea levels by the year 2060. Bangladesh is one of the 5 most vulnerable countries. Asim lives in one of the villages destroyed by the cyclone. He nearly lost his family on that fateful day.
A lot of water came rushing into the village. I watched as old people, women, children and pets got swept away. My son was with my wife, and she refused to leave his side. I watched them get swept further and further away by the waves.
I was really little. My mum and I got swept far away in the flood. I was so scared. The water kept rising. I lost sight of my father.
I had no news of them for 2 days. In 20 years, the Sundarbans have changed so much. Today it's a sad situation.
But disaster is often a catalyst for change. After Isla and the destruction it wreaked, Asim decided to take fate into his own hands. His fate, but also that of the land he so loved. First, he educated himself about the harmful effects of forest exploitation. Then he shared what he learned with his fellow villagers. Next, he came up with an idea that would change everything: planting an artificial mangrove forest to preserve the original one. And so several times a month, Asim goes from village to village, organizing mangrove planting operations. His mission: to reverse the devastating downward spiral poisoning the Sundarbans.
You're going to do exactly as I do. First, make a hole. The root is 4 inches. You have to make a 3-inch hole, then pack the earth around it. Does everybody understand? Take your time. Go very slowly. Treat the seedlings like you would your own children. As these trees grow, they'll protect us from flooding. They'll prevent the riverbanks from collapsing. When the trees are big, They'll also protect us from heavy winds. Our villages will be protected. In 2 years, they'll grow 7 meters tall. They'll provide wood for us to burn. They will also give us fruit we can sell. With the money we earn, we'll be able to help poor families in our village and give money to parents so they can send their children to school and marry off their daughters. Ultimately, our goal is to never have to go back to the wild Sundarbans forest so that we don't destroy it. For us, the forest is like our mother. A mother who feeds her children and gives them all her love. In short, the forest allows us to live. That's why we have to do everything we can to preserve the forest and raise the awareness of those who live here.
A little further on in the mangrove, these men have gathered to construct embankments to protect against rising water levels. In the 1950s, the Bangladesh government slaughtered 3,000 crocodiles in order to export their skins. 60 years later, a sign of changing mentalities, the Forest Department funds a crocodile farm in the heart of the mangrove in order to reintroduce crocodiles into the Sundarbans.
The first year they eat fish. After they grow a little bigger, we give them small pieces of meat. Currently, we have 262 crocodiles of different sizes and ages, newborns and 2- or 3-year-olds. We also have 3 adult crocodiles in our center, Romeo, Juliet and Filfil. Last year, Juliet laid 51 eggs, of which 36 hatched. Filfil laid 61, and 38 of those hatched. As soon as they reach the age of 7 or 8 and are over 2 meters long, they'll be released into the Sundarbans. We have to protect crocodiles because they favor the presence of fish and guarantee the continuity of the food chain. The Creator made man the superior species, so it's our duty to protect the crocodiles.
Like the tiger in the forest, the crocodile is the super predator of the mangrove swamps. It holds the role of cleanup crew, eliminating weak and sick fish, thus ensuring the health of the ecosystem. Scientists have observed that there are fewer fish in places where the crocodile has disappeared. If the crocodile reintroduction program is successful, aquatic life as a whole in the mangrove should improve.